Radha Madhava Kunya Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Amunati Ravanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Sri Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Sri Radhe Hare Krsna Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya We are reading this morning from the 11th canto, chapter 3, text 30, and why we read about this verse you will find out when you hear the verse. Please repeat after me. Parasparanu katanam Pavanam Bhagavat Yasha Mitoratir mitastushtir Nivritir mitatmanaha Parasparanukathanam Avanam Bhagavat Yashaha Mitoratir mitastushtir Nivritir mita atmanaha. Yes, my dear devotees, please allow me to just go to the text in the interest of time. Paraspara, mutual, Anukatanam, discussion, Bhavanam, purifying, Bhagavat, of the Supreme Lord, Yashaha, glorious, Mitaha, mutual, means both sides, no? Ratihi, loving attraction, Mitaha, mutual, Tushti, satisfaction, Nivriti, cessation of material desires, Mitaha, mutual, Atmanaha, of the soul. So the translation. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. My dear devotees, this won't work if there is a translation just so close. I will only listen to you translating and checking all your mistakes. So we cannot have a translation, unfortunately. It is 15 people around us will be distracted. So let us start again. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. So yes, we should learn. We should come together first of all, then we should learn something in the association. What was it that we need to learn? Chanting the holy names, not quite right.
Chanting the glories.
Chanting the glories of the Lord. So it's about glorification of Krishna. Yashaha means the glories. No, that is important. It's not just chanting. We are glorifying someone. This process is most purifying. As devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavari Paskatyare Shatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 jacket. So, Hare Krishna. I will have to go a little bit fast because we have to end a little before 9. So, my dear devotees, here it is said one should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. I forgot something very, very, very important. So good. Something will come which you will forget everything of the lecture because you are Hare Krishnas, but you will remember one thing, and that we have to get. So yes, my dear devotees, in this verse we find an interesting repetition. Our literature sometimes repeats very important words. So it says paraspara, it means mutual, both sides. Then it says twice mitaha, both sides. So when devotees come together to chant, there will be someone who leads, but all the others will be in the chorus. So we have two sides. Or when devotees speak together, speak about Krishna, there will be the speaker, and now there's one speaker, and then there are listeners. Again, two sides are there. What will happen with these two sides? Well, a mutual loving attraction will happen. You will both develop love, the singer, those who sing with him. They will develop tushti, satisfaction in the heart, and they will also both experience that material miseries will disappear. I think some of yesterday I talked with one kirtan leader. He was terribly jet-lagged and was suffering. He's an old man, and after the kirtan, he looked very blissful, and I said to him, "You were chanting, and when you started, you were full of misery." He said, "That's right, Maharaj. How do you know?" Well, I told him I sometimes also fly from America to Europe, and then there's 7 days of sleep disturbance and jet lag. So I know how you feel by my own experience. And I said, "And now you look blissful." And he said, "Yes." And I said, "This is because you chanted Krishna's holy name, and the devotees chanted also, and in the Bhagavatam we hear that in this process all the material miseries, including a terrible jet lag, will disappear." Here, those who translated this verse have said one should learn how to associate, because it doesn't always happen if you don't know the art. If you don't know the art of chanting the holy name, then you don't feel the arrival of love for Krishna. You feel love for Netflix series, and you don't feel satisfaction with Krishna, but satisfaction with your sexual encounters, perhaps, or other things. No, so this may indicate that you have not yet learned how to chant properly. This this learning of chanting the mantras properly is important. Srila Prabhupada gives us a stunning example. He said, once there was a case of 3 deaths in the Lucknow University. These deaths happened by snake bite. There were these, I think, must be cobras or other poisonous snakes. So in order to get these snakes out, they got a Muslim gentleman who was a snake charmer, and he came and he chanted his mantras, snake charming mantras, and then the snakes came and he could seize them. I once when I stayed in Vrindavan, I saw a snake. My dear devotees, it was. Let me give you the proportion from here to the well-shaved head of our devotee. It was massive. No, this one who is now hiding. Yes, it was this size of a snake, and I learned it was a snake which was sighted often in the neighborhood. It was the snake of this particular colony where I stayed. And later, because the snake was poisonous, it skinned in where I was staying. I was seeing it was going to the champak tree and then shedding its own skin. So later, we got another gentleman. They come from opposite side of Belwan. They come from Belwan. These are snake charmers. They live for 1 year together with one snake, and they charm it. They have this mantra, and they know the art of charming. So this gentleman was coming to charm the snakes, and he captured them, and then he put them into a container and brought them out of the university. And there were no more death cases. So this, my dear devotees, then the students said, "Oh, what did you do? These mantras, they don't work." And the charmer, he was a charming person, invited the devotees to his, not devotees, the students who were skeptical about the art, to his place. And then the students came, and then he let loose all the snakes. The snakes were going close to the students, and they all ran from the courtyard and took shelter somewhere. Prabhupada, in his language, he says, the students said, "What is the matter here? What is the magic that you can catch up snake and the snake cannot do you any harm?" So he said, yes, it's possible by mantra. By mantra, it can be done. So the students challenged him. "Oh, your snakes, we think they are poisonless and they cannot bite. There's no poison. It's taken away, the poison tooth is taken away." So the gentleman said, no, they have got everything. So he took one and showed them, "Here, see the poison tooth." So he had many snakes, and to make fun, he let them all come out from the box, and immediately all over the courtyard, the snakes began to run all over, and all these medical students, they became afraid. They were fleeing this side, that side. So the Shama said, "Don't be afraid. So long as I'm here, they will not bite you." So Prabhupada remembers, this was spoken by Dr. Ghosh, my friend. And he continues, the mantra has got so much power, but you cannot purchase this mantra and chant. That will not do. You have to make it perfect. There is a process how to become perfect in chanting the mantra. Similarly, Hare Krishna. This is a spiritual mantra. It's not an ordinary material mantra. This Hare Krishna mantra is a spiritual mantra. It's not material. Golokera Prema Dana Harinama Sankirtana. It's not ordinary sound vibration, a material sound vibration, radio. Radio, gaga. No radio. So if we actually chant this Hare Krishna mantra, listen to this little important word, properly, without any offense, then once chanting is sufficient to make you free from the reaction of all sinful life. One time when it is chanted. And he says, Hare Krishna is actually Krishna himself. So I feel how now, because the oxygen level has just gone down, you go into automatic pilot and don't listen any longer. We can this you can feel. We need to open the window, and please not only, I'm now an old man. I can ask that the young men suffer a little. Please open those windows. I will not teach you how to open the window. You have to do it at this window as well. Please, someone get up and open the window. It has not yet been done. Who is a good window opener? No, I'm not joking. Prabhu, can you please open the window? Because it is. Please, you go and open it properly. I will check on you. It's a simple thing which any educated person should be able to do. Yes, you are good. You're from Nishinga. Please stay there because the devotees will immediately close it. Please keep it open. We need, otherwise we cannot listen. So, what were we just talking about, if I may ask? Properly, yes, we need to learn it. Otherwise, this will always be a pious narrative, only a story which we Hare Krishna devotees tell each other, but there will be no experience of Krishna, and the result will be there will be no detachment from material sense gratification, and our movement will only be an external movement. It has to be learned properly. So Mahaprabhu teaches us how to chant this properly. I will read to you from the Chaitanya Bhagavat what Mahaprabhu instructed. There was one Brahmana who came to him with tears in his eyes. He said, Mahaprabhu, I don't think the chanting of Hare Krishna will work in Kali Yuga. And I don't think there will be any true devotees in Kali Yuga. But I feel bad with these two convictions. Well, what should I do now? So Mahaprabhu said, listen, O Brahmana. One who has taken poison must drink nectar with the same mouth. Then only the effect of the poison will be neutralized, and by the influence of nectar, his body will become immortal. So he will get a spiritual body. Now I will explain to you how to do this. First of all, you must know your blasphemous statements that you spoke in ignorance are just like taking poison. Now you must constantly drink the supreme nectar of chanting the names and qualities of Krishna with the same mouth. So, okay, so we hear here we should chant the names that we do, but we should also chant about Krishna's qualities. How he is so merciful, how he is so beautiful, how he has such a good character. Shushirya. How he is so liberated from all material influences. There are altogether 7 oceans of nectar about Krishna, and we should bathe our mind in it. We will do this in a second. So then, and by the same mouth with which you have talked ill about Vaishnavas, you should now start to glorify Vaishnavas. How they are trying their best, how they may have come from such and such backgrounds, but how they gather together and how they chant, how nice they are, and so on. O Brahmanas, go and describe the glories of the devotees, and all your sinful reactions will be stopped. So Mahaprabhu tells 2 things. Avoid offenses when you chant the holy name, and second, do you remember? Glorify the devotees, yes. There's one devotee, his name is Narahari Chakravarti, and he wrote an important book. It's called Bhakti Ratnaka. And in that book, he writes about the devotees of Krishna, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came either during the time of Lord Chaitanya or afterwards. He says at the beginning, he wrote also another book, it's rather brief, Namamrita Samudra, the ocean of the nectar of the name. It's a very small book, you can see here. And he says at the beginning of the book, I received an order of Govinda, Krishna. You know, he was in Bengal somewhere, and the Lord appeared to him and said, "Oh Narahari, you should go to Vrindavan and you should do 4 things. You should cook for me." So this Narahari Chakravarti became an excellent cook in various preparations. You should sing for me. You should become a musician and an artist. So he went to Braj and he joined the, how do you say this? The monks or the brahmacharis or the residents of the Radha Govinda temple. Who built that temple? Do you remember? Rupa Goswami, yes, correct. And he cooked for the deities there. He was singing for the deities. He had a good musical group, you know, the Narahari Chakravarti Bhajan band. I'm speculating, I don't know. And he was an artist also, he knew how to paint, and he wrote this book, Bhakti Ratnaka. He became very famous, and then he decided to change his name. This is what devotees often do who become famous. They don't want to be famous, so he went also by the name Ganasyam Das. Please repeat. Ganasyam Das. Yes. And he thought one day, I cannot, Mahaprabhu said, if I want to chant properly, I have to do 2 things. I must learn to chant by avoiding the offenses, or as our temple president has said, adopting the defenses, you know, positive attitudes. You know what's the first offense? Do you have it right now in your head? Blasphemy, yes, correct. So what would be a defense? Glorify the devotee. You know already everything. Yes. So he did this. He wrote this book, and he said it starts with a famous devotee. Who do you consider as the most famous devotee of chanting the holy name? Haridas Thakur, yes. His words are, "O Haridas Thakur," please say, "O Haridas Thakur, you are an ocean of mercy. You are an ocean of mercy. And you are very dear to," whom do you think? Mahaprabhu, yes. "You are very dear to Gaura. Please reveal the glories of the holy name within my simple heart." Yes. It's good to have a simple heart and you don't make a big mental but it goes right in the heart. So he wrote in this book names of all devotees which he glorifies. And I thought, because we can have some music, he chanted names. What would you like to chant? First, names of ladies or or men? What would you like? Everything is okay. O Lakshmi Devi. O Lakshmi Devi. O Vishnu Priya Devi. O Vishnu Priya Devi. O Vasudha Devi. O Vasudha Devi. And so on. And then O Govinda. O Garuda. O Kavichandra. Vishvarupa. Achyuta. Virachandra Prabhu. O Gauridas. O Rup and Sanatan. It's a long text. I mean, it's 200 devotees, you know. And he says something good about each single devotee. He says, "O Krishna Das of Radhadesh." Radhadesh, not here. Do you know the main village of Radhadesh, which is so famous? Ekachaka, yes. O Krishna Das of Radhadesh, you are always joyful. Make sure that I do not associate with those who blaspheme others. It's beautiful prayers to all the devotees, and then he ends at the end, "O Lord, I beg that you award the treasure of love of God to anyone who hears these holy names." And to anyone who makes others hear them. So you heard some of the holy names. Perhaps the Lord will give you the treasure of the holy name now. He says, "I'm a foolish person. Please be satisfied with me. Do not seriously consider my fault. If I have failed to describe these holy names in order, please forgive me." So the idea is very simple. By taking shelter with of the devotees and glorify them, and giving them gifts and revealing your mind and confidence to them, and by giving them prasadam. Here I came from my home temple. We have this amazing sweet. Please take. That is how you will learn to chant the holy name of Krishna very nicely. There's a song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Kini volutibo harinama rasa namarase mati oibe vishwas. Rasera rasika, please chant. Rasera rasika, charana parasha, Koriya mojibo, Rase aniba, Kini bolutiba, Harina marasa, Namarase mati, Oibo vishva vivash. He says, I will beg you, my dear devotees, for the holy name. I will borrow. I will steal the nectar of the holy name, by which I will become intoxicated and overwhelmed. Touching the feet of devotees who relish that rasa, I will continuously drown in it. So learning to chant means really to associate with the devotees. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, the devotees encourage one another to give up material sense gratification. They speak to each other and they will say, one devotee will say to another, oh, you have given up sense gratification. I see you are no longer so fat. This is my interpretation. It is, you have given up sense gratification. Starting today, I shall also give it up. This is how devotees encourage each other. Obviously, this is done confidentially. The devotees might ask, what did you do to make advancement, Prabhu? They will not just ask, what is the new app against blitzers on the Autobahn? They will speak about, what did you do? How can I make advancement? And then by this discussion, encouraging, they will give up sense gratification. I have the most difficult audience. You are very tired, I can see. So we need to again open the door. Who was the devotee from Singhachalam who actually did it? He is there? He is opening? Good. Yeah. Really? Or is it... I'm sorry, I'm from Germany. I cannot... we like to talk with words that have meaning. So I would like to talk today about the devotee Sri Madhava. It's not our Madhava with the Sika, it's Sri Madhava, an older devotee. This devotee suffered from diarrhea. He was a great devotee of Lord Jagannath. Do you know what is diarrhea? Those who have gone to India know. So he suffered from diarrhea, and it was so bad that he hurried to the seashore of the ocean. Why? To quickly have water to clean, It was constantly coming. And therefore he remained on the beach of Puri, and he eventually became so weak that he could not get up any longer and get water for drinking. So Lord Jagannath saw his devotee was lying on the beach of Puri and constantly having to go to clean himself I think eventually it became almost impossible, and he was dying, so he could not wait any longer. The Lord came. He personally brought water and he supplied it. So Madhava was lying on the beach, and he looked at the Lord and he said, I recognize you. You need to listen because the voice is very weak now. I recognize you. How unfortunate I am that you had to come and perform the service for a wretch like me. My Lord, by doing this and serving me, you have lost your position of being God. This is how Madhava felt. You are all powerful. You are the Lord and the origin of everything, and you come and take care of a weak, emaciated person like me. This is not good. Then Lord Jagannath, he actually spoke to Madhava. Would you like to hear what he said? Yes. It's very deep. You will have to be attentive, otherwise you won't catch the subtlety of it. He said, what could I do? I cannot tolerate even for a moment the sufferings of my devotees. So Sri Madhava was very intelligent. He said, my Lord, if this is actually the case, and you cannot tolerate my suffering, why did you not take away my diarrhea problem? This would be the natural thing to do, you know. But you brought water. This is the secondary help. The primary help is to cure my problem. Do you follow the logic of Madhava? Yes. Is this, in some ways he's right, isn't he? Yes. Is he right or is he wrong? Yes. So now hear the response of the Lord. You have to see now. It will get very subtle. If you don't listen carefully, but by now I hope you listen. The Lord said, you told me I should remove your diarrhea. But in this regard, I face a dilemma. If I relieve you of your problem, but you still have some remaining karma, I would be violating the subtle laws of nature that were laid down by me. You know, I made this law that when you act in a certain way, then you get a karmic reaction for that, so that you learn to avoid in the future to do this mistake. So if I take away your illness now, I would be violating the laws of karma, the laws of nature, which have been established by myself. Do you understand the law's dilemma? If he goes against his own law, in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the Lord talks about this other dilemma. He said to Gopkumar, I wanted to take you to me, but then I would have violated my law, that my own law is I will not interfere with the freedom of a living being. I couldn't do that. So one is bound to enjoy or suffer the fruits of his action. Therefore, instead of violating this law, I have set aside my position as God to engage in your service. We all have to engage in whose service? And Krishna does not have to engage in our service, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. This is one reason why I will not remove your diarrhea problem. Now listen to another reason why I have engaged in your service. I thought that no one should laugh about my devotee, saying that there's no one to help him in a distressed condition. So I came to help you. My dear devotees, this is very, very, very important conversation. As long as you have the body composed of the physical elements, and as long as you have a material mind, you will experience happiness and distress. You will experience it, but the Lord will help you to go through it, like He helped our Sri Madhava by coming and bringing what for him? Water. Yes, that was most necessary at that time. So, in this way, Sri Madhava and Lord Jagannath discussed, and in no time, all the sufferings of Madhava disappeared, they vanquished. Sri Madhava spread the knowledge of bhakti through the world by preaching the glories of the Lord. So this is one example of a great devotee, and there is a very important lesson. Do you also sometimes suffer happiness? We don't say we suffer happiness, we say we enjoy happiness, but you suffer distress? Yes, yes, we all know, we all know. And if you want to experience this particular distress, go to India and drink ordinary water. Then you know what it is. It will come after either 4 hours or 6 hours, depending how strong your bacterial flora is, intestinal flora is, but it will come. And it will come. But the Lord will help us to go through it if we actually take shelter of the Lord. This is what the devotees of the Lord teach us. And I would like to come now to the end of this presentation. Oh, we are in time. I want to show you something. Krishna went to get it, so it is in here. It may be a snake, Yeah. What is this? Capsule. I think you have only given half of the answer. What is this? Also a capsule. An empty capsule. This is a full capsule. Now, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says the holy name, that there is actually something like a holy name where Krishna is present, and there's a holy name where Krishna is not present. Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks, you can chant the holy name, and it will be only the akshara. Akshara means letters of the holy name, but Krishna will not be there. Such chanting will give very minimal result. When is Krishna absent? Well, any idea you could have? When we have not learned to chant, perhaps. No? When we have not learned to chant the holy name, when we are chanting with offenses, and Krishna is present when we have learned. Now the learning is not just to avoid offenses, but it is, as we hear here, to chant and be mindful of Krishna, thinking of Krishna, turning to Krishna and calling out to Krishna is very, very important. To chant in a spirit of devotion. This is how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is defining the proper chanting. Again, I see the attention goes down. You can feel it. It's a certain mental energy. It goes zip. So again, I want to remind you to open. Thank you so much. And, thank you. This is a most serious point. To chant full names with a loving devotion for Krishna will nourish us spiritually, it will nourish our spiritual identity, it will help us to become free from the false ego, it will help us to become free from sense gratification. But if we continue with empty names, it will not, we will be externally facing, we will have many problems like quarreling amongst each other at any given opportunity, and so on. We will not be so happy. So I want to encourage you to, while you're in Radhadesh, you're doing it actually very, very nice. There's nothing to be said to you. You are an excellent group. The way you chant is very nice, and you have minimized a really distraction. I can see there are not many mobile telephones. A few, of course, are there because we are what we are. But very, very concentrated efforts, and you are really there when you chant. So this is what you can do during this time, and so on. But outside, I encourage you to learn to chant the full holy names. You will be, the Lord constantly says, come to me, give up all other shelters. You will be amply rewarded. You will be paid in currency of love. Learn this simple art. And when you feel you have not yet the deep taste in Krishna consciousness, it might be because you have not yet learned the art. Please let us not make our lives difficult for us by thinking that we are advanced devotees and know everything. It is good if we make our life easy by understanding we need to learn so that we can come to the full holy name. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I'm surprised about myself. I'm usually going over time like anything. Today I'm not. Let me see if there's a question. But please, not a question by the youngest member of the audience who is saying how is eating chocolate all right or not, or it should be a question related to the subject matter. Yeah. Let me see. I will. Our Krishna Chaitra Maharaj has a question. It's the questions by the senior members are most beneficial to the audience. So we will give a microphone to you. Have you understood while the microphone is coming this example?
Hare Krishna.
Good.
Thank you, Maharaj, so much for a wonderful, enriching, as we say in California, experience.
You have to do because everyone is tired. You have to perform a little.
It's really just a question of clarification. The two reasons that Jagannath explains, Lord Jagannath explains to the devotee Sri Madhava. The second reason, you're saying he wanted to show that it is not proper to, if I understood right, to laugh, to be amused at the suffering of devotees. Was this the point? Or is it not to be amused at the faults of... Could you just a little bit clarify that?
Thank you, Maharaj. So the first reason is why he didn't take away the illness problem, that he didn't want to violate his own law. Therefore, he set aside his position as of God. It means God always takes the service. We serve God, but in this case, God served the devotee. The second reason was, I thought that no one should ridicule my devotee, saying that there is no one to help him in a distressed condition. It means something like, you are giving your life to Krishna, huh? Yes? And the devotee says, yes. But has the Lord done anything for you? Has He helped you in your distress? So the Lord comes to the aid of His devotee, His genuine devotee, to help the devotee, to remove this doubt that when we surrender to Krishna, Krishna is really there, and He takes care of us. You must remember. I mean, you know better than me, but there is this verse: Ananyas chintayanto mang ye jana ayupasatina. The Lord says, it's I believe in the 9th chapter of the Gita, text 20, but I'm not good with numbers. It's around this time. Can you please look it up in your mobile telephone? There the Lord says, those who serve me, I carry what they need and I maintain what they have. So the Lord does this in order to show that He's there for His devotees. There was this one commentator of the Bhagavad Gita, his name was Arjuna Acharya, and he came to this verse where the Lord says, I personally come and take care of the needs of my devotee. So he thought that this cannot be there. The Lord will not serve the devotee. We will serve Him. He will perhaps make an arrangement. So Arjuna Acharya was very, very poor, and he went out to go for Madhukari, begging, after he had crossed this line. I personally take care of my devotee. It can't be. This is some mistake which happened over the centuries when the Bhagavad Gita was copied from one copier to the other. I set this straight. The Lord does not come personally. And as he went to beg, but in his absence, a little boy came to the home of Arjuna Acharya, bringing a whole basket of ghee, vegetables, flour, sugar, mangoes, and so on. It was not ready-made rasagulas or halava or lasagna. No, it was not. Thank you, I have your attention again. It was just the ingredients to cook. No, so he brought this to the wife of Arjunacharya, and Arjuna's the wife said, "Who are you?" He said, "Your husband knows me very well. Okay, you please stay here. I will cook, and he will come back after his begging round, Madhukari, and then you can greet him, and you can also eat with us, of course. Thank you so much." The boy said, "No, I better go quickly away." Why? If you're known to my husband, no, your husband is very cruel. My husband is very cruel. I have not seen any cruelty. So the boy said, I better go now. And he turned around, and when he turned around, his back was full of scratches, as if someone had taken a pen and inflicted wounds on the back of the. Then he disappeared like a flame. When a flame goes out, it's all of a sudden gone. This is how Krishna disappears, and then he disappears. So when Arjunacharya came back, he found his wife eating. It was a huge meal. You were eating. Normally you don't eat alone before me. You are very cruel. Devi, what has come in your mind? No, there was this boy. He brought us food. And when he turned around, I saw these bleeding wounds, and he said, "You did it to him." This was a Brahmana. He was not a child abuser or anything. He was what he was. Arjunacharya immediately understood that was Krishna, who had told him he should not cross out anything in the Bhagavad Gita. It's to be taken as it is. He said, and this verse is, yes, Vahamyaham. Vahamyaham means I carry. So I personally carry what the devotees needs. This is what the Bhagavad Gita text says. So Arjunacharya had crossed out with his pen or something, a writing stencil, the Vahami, and he had written Karomi, I arrange that my devotees are taken care of. So he went back to the Bhagavad Gita. I speculated. And he just crossed out Karomyaham and wrote back, so Vahamyaham, I carry. Krishna once, he is feels very pained at heart when someone says, Krishna, you don't take care of your devotees. You are a great, ungrateful master. Your devotees are suffering and you don't do anything against it. He feels pain in the heart when someone ridicules the devotee and him. The devotee will say, your master is not a real master, see, he didn't care for you. Krishna feels pain in his heart, great pain. You may say, I'm a dreamer, but I hope one day you will dream like me. Prabhu, I know you say that, but I sometimes suffer and Krishna doesn't take care of me. Perhaps the suffering you go through is necessary. Perhaps you must see your suffering as a message sent from above to teach you something which otherwise you could not learn. Have you ever thought like this? Perhaps it's a wake-up call. No, this is necessary. Good. Good. My dear devotees, I thank you very, very much. I hope you will remember one thing from the lecture. There are two types of chanting. One is empty, one is full. Once I remember when Prabhupada was there was in Mayapur a kirtan competition. Yes, at that time we were like this. We are still sometimes in this mood. Sometimes we say, I can't top that kirtan. Is kirtan about topping a kirtan? So we are still there where we were many years before. So there was this kirtan competition, and we had invited some Bengali groups to come. And the Bengali were bold, they were professional singers who could do, wow, they can play mridanga, they can sing. Wow, you kirtanias. No, actually by now our kirtanias really can play and sing. But yes, so they were singing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Takes a long time. It's a traditional melody. It's all right. This melody is, but you can. So one devotee came to Prabhupada and said, isn't that nice, Prabhupada? And Prabhupada said, they are not singing Hare Krishna. The devotee said, Prabhupada, there was a loudspeaker. Hare 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 Ram. Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama is there. Prabhupada said they are not chanting Hare Krishna. So the devotee said, then what are they chanting? Prabhupada said they are chanting money, 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 money. Because, you invite these bold musicians, you may not know the culture, for marriages and for, you can hire them. And they have to maintain their children, and they are really thinking, I hope the payment is all right, at the end of the day. So they have not learned to chant full holy names. Their mind is not with Krishna and his qualities and the Lord. No, they only chant empty. So one should learn to come with the devotees. See, we have this verse. Where is it? 11, 3, 30. Here. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purifying, as devotees thus develop their loving friendship. No, friendship happens at these gatherings. They feel mutual happiness and satisfaction, and by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. So this is a very interesting verse. I thank you all very much, but I must compliment you at the end. Really, you are an incredibly focused group of chanters. It's such an honor and such a happiness to be with all of you. I wish you a wonderful day. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai, Gaur Premanandi, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Krishna, do you have this one announcement, please? Can I have a microphone? Maybe thank you. We just wanting to extend the Kirtan Hall today, and so everyone could take a shelter of the holy names. So we found a solution, and the solution is Harinam Sankirtan. So we're planning to go for Harinam Sankirtan, so to say, like Bhakti Vikas Maharaj say, Kirtan attack. So whoever is inspired to join us, please do so. We'll be leaving by 2:40. We're meeting in front of the castle, and we'll be back by 6:30. We're going to Namur. So everyone who is inspired to go, please join us. And only a request is, please, as our cars of Radhadesh are used for the shuttle to bungalows, we are lacking the car sort of to drive all devotees. So if you have a car and you are able to use it to drive devotee, please, you are very welcome. And in the case, please, you can find me, or I'll leave my contact on the reception. You can find me on the WhatsApp as well. Thank you so much. Gaur Premanandi.
we forgot the pictures that comes in.